Hi, ladies. Welcome to another episode of the Femalepreneur Coach podcast. I am your host, Rebecca Barr, and I am super excited to have you with me today. You may be watching on YouTube or listening on my podcast on Anchor or Spotify, Apple, all the places. If you are, please let me know what your key takeaway is from today's episode. But I am super excited about this because behind the scenes, I've been working on a brand new masterclass series, which is all around how to essentially lean into the power of leverage to really create more time and financial freedom in your business, and also more energy freedom. We know as business owners, it can be quite energetically draining at times, unless you can find ways to really lean into your natural zone of genius and just preserve your energy, have all these incredible boundaries in place, and essentially really lean into the fact that your business is your party. You get to do it how you want to. So I've got a brand new masterclass series coming up in April, May, and June, which is essentially your 90-day game plan to create a summer with minimal touch points in your business, and really have a summer of financial abundance and also freedom, time freedom. So if you would like to join me with that, I would be absolutely so excited to have you there, because this is ultimately my mission and my purpose as a business coach, and also what I think really sets me apart. Because a lot of time, I have a lot of conversations. I've got 5 kids, I'm chair of the PTA, I've got multiple business interests, I've got a dog, like I've got so much going on in life, and yet I haven't reduced my expectations or goals or benchmark of success for myself because I'm super busy. Instead, I found really smart, intelligent ways to essentially leverage every element of myself, my business, and all of the great things, so that I can still have that maximum impact, but with minimal input, really. And I really believe in working smarter, not harder, and all of the great things. So the thing that I wanted to talk to you about today, and that's obviously what I'll be covering over that 90-day series. I'm going to pop all of the links in the show note. You are more than welcome to join me. It's such a small investment, and it could be the thing that determines whether you have a summer of freedom. And freedom looks different for all of us. For me, it's obviously spending really intentional time with my kids, hopefully doing some traveling, like just embracing life and doing, being, having, and all the things that I can. But for others, it might be, maybe you've got a business that you're actually working on in your part-time. Maybe you've still got a job and it's not quite where you want it to be yet. So you're having to make the most of your time, energy, and money because you physically don't have very much of it. Maybe you just, the reason that you became an entrepreneur, want to travel. Maybe you want to do more with life. You just don't want to be working every day of the week. And I am totally here for that vibe, by the way. That is totally my vibe as well. I've done my time in business where I felt overwhelmed and burnt out, and like, oh my God, I left corporate to have such a better life, and now I'm just working 100 hours a week for myself, and I'm a mean bitch, like I am really tough on myself. I am making this journey really not very fun. So if you are one of those women that is like, actually, hell to the no, I know there are easier ways to make money, I know that there are smarter ways to be working, this episode is for you. But also, if you want to dive deeper into this work, my masterclass is where I would love to see you. Because essentially, when we talk about leverage, like I say, I think this is my USP as a business coach. I'm all about working smarter and not harder, and really understanding the personal power that you have and how to create, how to lean into that potency to get as much bang for your buck. Like I say that all the time. So a lot of the time when people talk about leverage, though, in business, it's really masculine strategies around working smarter, not harder, scheduling posts, repurposing content. For me, it's not about that. It's about a few different things that are actually bigger than you realize. And how you do one thing in life is how you do everything. So if you can master these principles, it's going to serve you not only in your business, but also in life. And it's part of that embodiment piece that I feel really passionate about. It's peppered throughout all of my work, because strategy is only ever like such a small fraction of what ultimately leads to success for women. So the first thing I want to talk to you is around boundaries. So it's about, if you want to leverage your time, it's about cleaning up the boundaries that you have, so you're only working with clients that really appreciate the value that you bring to the table and are ready to compensate you on a much bigger scale for that exchange. So it's not about being oversubscribed, working with 100 clients, constantly in hustle mode, next client, working with low vibe, low ball clients that just don't appreciate you. It's about really stepping into your power and owning your expertise, your journey, your story, all of the things, and not being available for the people who ultimately don't want your help and don't want to help themselves, who are wasting your time and energy, because from a place of, this is like me holding up the mirror here, but understanding that sometimes when we are too accessible, it's because we want to be liked. It's because we're conditioned to be humble and to be accessible. And if you're a good person, then you can't charge too much. The amount of times I hear that, actually, you're not doing anybody a service when you are completely overwhelmed and completely oversubscribed. It's better to work with a smaller select group of women that you can really nurture and pour into if your clients obviously women, and if you're a service-based entrepreneur. So that you can give them a better experience. But even if you don't, it's about honoring yourself and your boundaries and not being available for people that want to waste your time and energy and don't appreciate your value. The next thing is around obviously your mindset. Like, you have to be working on your mindset, and particularly your money mindset, daily. This is a commitment, because otherwise what happens if you're not doing that work? Self-sabotage, procrastination will slow you down. Perfectionism, they will absolutely slow you down. That's when you never really get to executing and implementing the things that you need to be doing in your business. You're not doing it with conviction. You're also maybe watering down your message, so you're not having as much impact with your audience. So you're having to do a lot more work in terms of nurturing people because you're not activating them. When you have a mentor, whoever, who can really hold up the mirror to your potential and call you when you are playing small and when you're not going all in, that's really powerful, because it helps you to seemingly collapse time, take those quantum shifts in your business and make those bold moves, because you're not constantly second guessing yourself. The next thing is around obviously embodiment. So it's ensuring that you're eliminating any of those time and energy drains. And this could be in your business, i.e. doing tasks that don't make sense that you're doing, working with low vibe clients, not charging enough, but also in life. How many times when you look at your diary for the week ahead, are you spending time with people that you don't ultimately want to be spending time with? Are you doing tasks that you don't ultimately want to be doing, but you're doing it from a place of, if I don't do it, nobody else is going to be doing it? If I don't spend time with that person, they're going to think that I don't like them. And I want to be liked and humble. If I don't do it, then I can't receive support from anybody else. There's no creative workaround. It's like, no. We need to get out of that state. We need to start stepping into our future self, who already knows that time is money, that already knows the value of her cleaning her toilet versus somebody else, who is already ready to receive support in her business, so that she can then do what she does best, and she can be supported by others, but also so that she isn't so accessible for everybody. She owns the fact that not everybody is going to be joining on her next chapter or next phase of life or next stage of business, and that is okay. Like, she's already made peace with that. So it's about that embodiment piece. The next thing is around, this is a masculine strategy, but ensuring, because we are smart boss ladies, that you have a really smart, stackable product offer ladder that essentially allows you the opportunity to maximize your time and energy, so that you can have those group containers, evergreen funnels, and allow people and clients to ascend with you and evolve as they maybe outgrow one container. There's another one that's waiting for them. So you're, again, that working smarter not harder, where you're constantly having to pitch out to new clients. It's like, no, actually giving people the opportunity to ascend and evolve into your next level program. Again, this is why pricing is so powerful, and obviously why I'm going to be going into so much depth around this in the masterclass, because it is the masculine strategies, but it's also other elements too. Making sure then that you don't have to continually be focusing on the next launch and the next thing and always being in that hustle mode. It's about making sure that your product ladder and offer suite really works for you and your energy and your time, and really maximizes the potential and leverages you to do that without having to then scale down, scale back, and diminish any of the goals that you want to achieve this year. The next thing that I feel really passionate about, obviously, because every product that I have, every container has an element of community, but it's about building those strategic collaborations. When I moved into business, very early on, having come from, other businesses, not just I left my job in corporate and thought I'd be a business coach. I've had real world experience. I understand more than most that if I want to grow my audience, I'm not going to rely on growing a social media page. I'm going to rely on strategic collaborations and people that already have my ideal clients' attention. Who can I partner with to essentially build, grow my business, build my brands, transfer trust from their audience to me, people that make sense. We're not in competition. We have very aligned values. We can both add value, so the exchange is equal. But equally, that's the quickest, smartest way to growing a business. And that's what I leaned into straight out the bat. That's why if you look at my social media presence, I'm still sitting at around like 2,000 people on social media. After all these years in business, because I absolutely know that you need it, 100%. I really do value it, but I've not gone out of my way to necessarily grow it, which is something that will change this year, because I've always leaned into collaborations. A lot of my business is done offline, and that fits really well with my values, with my old school way of doing business. And also my natural strengths as a chatty Cathy and somebody that loves that human connection. There's just an opportunity there for me with social media, but I would love to invite you to have a think today about maybe writing down 5 to 10 people that you could collaborate with this year, and ensure that you've always got those collaborations as part of your growth plan, as part of your daily, weekly, monthly task. Is always looking for those opportunities, because that is where you really get that leverage of your time. And it's ensuring that you're in the right rooms and at the right tables and surrounded by the right people. And obviously this is why I've created the 7-figure sisterhood. Already within that container, there are women that are, guest experts on each other's podcast episodes, that are buying from each other, sending clients to each other, that are, doing collaborations in some sort in terms of content and IGTVs. And it's something that I do all the time. Not only is it a really smart boss lady move, it's also makes your business more fun. So, that's another reason why I love to create those containers and almost those old school boys clubs. It's about actually, how do we as women, when everything else has always told us that we need to be in competition with each other, actually, how do we now flip the script on that and actually use our community to our advantage and all support each other to grow? I'm a huge champion of women, absolutely, and also my clients. Like, I'll share their stuff, I'll buy their products, I'll be their hype girls. Like, that's what it's all about. The next thing is about being laser focused on what are the actual income producing activities in your business, because I guarantee you are currently being distracted by things that are not. And again, there's a lot of mindset work that comes around from being validated, from being busy. It makes us feel important, it makes us feel in control, it makes us feel worthy of the money that we're bringing in. But you have to start to recognize that self-limiting behavior and actually think, no, okay, what actually needs me to do this thing? What is actually going to push the needle in my business forwards? What is actually going to make me money today? This is why you need evergreen funnels as well as live launches. And you need to have those ebbs and flows and balance in business. There's so many layers to running and building and scaling a successful business. Again, stuff that I'll be touching on in my masterclass, but essentially it's about not being distracted by the noise of the online space and having that intentional focus on what do I need to do this week. And then the last thing is around staying in your zone of genius and building systems and teams to support you with the parts that don't necessarily require your personal energy, as I've mentioned, so that you can do what you do best. And not only will that create more time and free you up to do the higher level, more strategic, working on your business as opposed to in your business, but it also will give you more joy and impact, because rather than doing things that you hate and kind of suffering through elements of your business and essentially becoming the block to your own success, you can actually just enjoy it. It gets to be fun. You don't have to graft and be in hustle mode and be working all the time. So just to kind of recap on those things that I want you to think about today, and the stages that really, or the elements for me that really need to be considered when you're talking about leveraging your time in business. It's cleaning up your boundaries, it's working on your mindset, it's embodying that future self and turning up with that energy. It's about having smart offer ladders and product suites that maximize and leverage your time and energy. It's about creating strategic collaborations and staying in your zone of genius, and then having that intentional focus on your business. So hopefully that has given you some things, some areas at least, that you can focus on today, where you can see for yourself that actually maybe you are a busy fool, or not necessarily using your time to the greatest advantage. It's not necessarily giving you the best amount of impact right now, and it's not ultimately serving you in terms of your goals for this year. I would love to know what they are. Feel free to let me know in the comments. If you're on YouTube or on my podcast, that would be amazing. Make sure to like and subscribe so that I can reach more women. But again, if you want to take this work further, either join me in the Aligned, Empowered and Abundant Academy, because these are the kind of conversations that we have every month, and everything, all of the business building content is very much with that leverage in mind. Don't want anybody to be overwhelmed or oversubscribed. And stepping into that CEO mindset where you're working on your business, not in your business. But if not, then obviously come and join me in the masterclasses, because my aim is to get as many women as possible really living their hot girl summer, having that freedom-based lifestyle, and essentially like living their best lives. That's my mission. It sounds cheesy, but it's true. So I would love to see you in one of those containers, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Don't forget to let me know what your key takeaways are.